Welcome to Alaa Abdul Nabi, Vice President Sales International at RSA. Alaa, you recently launched the RSA iShield Key 2 family. Can you describe this solution and how it addresses the authentication needs of security-conscious organizations?
Good morning, Elena, and thank you for hosting us. Yes, we were proud to release the RSA iShield Key Pro 2 with the partnership with Swissbit. We are proud to bring this to the market. It basically aligns very well with our initiative into passwordless by bringing the most secure phishing-resistant token into our portfolio. This is the first and the only one in the market with FIPS 140-3 compliance and validation, which meets the compliance and the regulatory stringent requirement for all the security-sensitive organizations. Now, also it ties up to our broader portfolio because we're also trying to bring the passwordless and redefining it to better suit enterprise use. So we launched the device-bound passkey use as well. So this ties up very well to it. And also, whilst it's very suited for like the federal space and defense, it's also very suited for organization in the healthcare and energy and all the enterprises that basically put security first.
Can you explain the importance of identity governance and how RSA helps organizations securely manage the identity lifecycle?
Sure. I mean, most organizations put a lot of emphasis on MFA. And don't get me wrong, MFA is a very important security control, and it's probably the best bet to start somewhere on a zero trust. However, with IGA, you have the option to step back and get the visibility before applying the control. IGA solutions, for example, allow an organization to understand the user access and who has access to what, which could prevent, for example, under attack, a lateral movement. Because most organizations under threat, they will get penetrated by leveraging one identity that is hacked. With IGA, you can get visibility and who that user have access to, and limit that privilege and limit that lateral movement. IGA is like the backbone of an IAM program. If nailed correctly, it will provide enough visibility across the organization to feed into the SOC team, to feed into the compliance team and the risk mitigation team. So whilst MFA is crucial, I think IGA is really the foundation step to understand and get the right visibility on your user and devices across the network before applying the controls.
Looking ahead, what do you see as the key challenges in identity security? What new solutions or innovation in RSA developing to address these challenges?
We can spend all day talking about challenges. There's a lot of them, but I'll name a few. One of the first one is actually the definition of passwordless itself. Passwordless on its, in the raw native state as it is right now, is probably very good use for individual use cases. However, when we apply that to enterprise, it needs a lot more controls around it to become viable for enterprise use. So here's what we try to do. We try to take a step by basically, for example, passkeys. It's important to nail the registration process, but at least applying minimum 2FA. And also understanding that, device-bound passkey is by far more secure and more stringent and better suited for enterprise use case. This is challenge number one, is trying to bring passwordless into the enterprise. The second challenge, which I think is very, very crucial, is teams are overwhelmed by the data sprawl. There's a lot of users, a lot of devices, a lot of different network and different access. And I think this can overwhelm the teams and the security teams. So we are trying to address that by providing the right visibility all in one central place via IGA solution, and also controlling that identity lifecycle of the user, but also enabling the organization to prioritize. And what we mean by this usually is the team goes into the solution to try and look to what's happened. What we're trying is to make the solution smart enough to basically point or prioritize and allow the user to look into the relevant things at that day and prioritize their activities, because otherwise it's too much going on in the network. So we're trying with IGA solution to provide visibility, but also add analytics, AI-driven analytics to basically broaden the picture. And I'll name one more, lastly but not least. Because of the mobile penetration and different type of devices, it's also essential to have your solution be able to understand risk or it's almost like a real-time continuous risk assessment journey towards zero trust. And for that you need to apply a different, under the risk AI, which we provide, you need to provide a lot of different controls and solutions across that end user journey, from whatever device they're accessing to whatever the resource they're accessing. So we've introduced, for example, MobileLock, which is a threat management monitoring solution and detection and monitoring solution on the mobile, without intervening with the user access to the rest of the mobile device, only caring about the user interacting with the authentication application. So if the user is at risk, it will basically revoke access or alert the team to act on it. So this is, for example, under the risk AI, we've introduced also that MobileLock, which we discussed. And recently we have also introduced a broader range or spectrum to enable zero trust and passwordless, because if we eliminate passwords more and more, I think we can achieve a better risk mitigation by basically shrinking the attack surface, because passwords are like everyone's worst nightmare right now, because 86% of breaches happen from identity breaches, and mostly it's users using password. So with the broader passwordless spectrum that we're trying to provide by RSA iShield, the recent token that we improved, the mobile key device mount that we introduced on the software side, we're basically limiting that attack surface for people. So identity sprawl, mobile devices threat detection, because they're ubiquitous, and we mentioned the passwordless. I think these are some of the key challenges that we're trying to align ourselves and our solutions with our ID Plus portfolio to help customers with them. But obviously, as I said, we can spend a long time discussing this. So hopefully that addresses the question, at least briefly for time.